got Timpf. I'm in for Greg on this special edition of Gutfeld. We're going to start with some jokes. North Korea is set to open to express unpopular opinions is also how we got anti-war voices on the right in the first place, which is something we probably thought we'd never see just a few decades ago, especially. So, if someone says they don't agree with you, embrace it and invite them to spill some tea together. Let's welcome tonight's guests. He took the G in her name is the only part of her that's silent. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. Kennedy, I feel like it's normal to be skeptical. You'd have a lot of reasons to be skeptical of the government or the media, especially when it comes to war, but a lot of stuff because of how much we've been lied to.
Yes, I mean, we have a terminus for. Yeah. And I really hope to God that this was complete.
Hear these stories on your shows, Kilmeade.
Right, now.
But the point is, like...
Thank you. I agree. Emily, you said in the green room that you have an unpopular opinion that you feel really strongly about.
Yes, and I'm going to say it.
Okay.
That on the airplane,
oh God.
First of all, I am in the window seat, and the shade is up. The shade remains up. I don't care what time of day it is.
No.
Especially during the day.
You
why?
monster!
So I can see out. I have to be able to look out the window. That's the whole point. Literally, and by the way, the symbol, if I am sleeping and I have an eye mask on my face while I'm sleeping in the window seat with the shade up, that is not an invitation for someone to reach over and shut the shade, which has happened to me before, because when I wake up, I'm like, the whole point is the mask is the shade. The actual shade I need to see out.
So you sit on the plane with the window open and a mask on your own face.
Totally. Because it's otherwise like a floating coffin. I have to be able to see out. Everyone who has no cares in the world when the whole thing is dark and you're just like in a submarine, that to me is the most frightening experience ever. Shade up unequivocally, and that's why I get the window seat. And if anyone asks, can you please shut it? I say no. Guess what?
Wow.
No. How about no?
Whoa.
Maybe a little.
Whoa.
Very unpopular.
I'm in a room full of monsters. Resist. Guy, do you have one?
Yeah, so first of all, actually.
Yeah.
And it was, I will say, for the record, it was not.
And 600 during Iraq, the hostages in 1979, they really have. Early U.S. intelligence suggests strikes on Iran did not destroy the nuclear. Why? Because the minute it gets big, they go out of their way.
And up next, a Biden aide chickens out. Executive privilege. Now, what do you think he might be hiding?
I mean, we know it is. If he were to do exactly that, he would be defending Biden while channeling Biden, right? You have to show up. You don't just peace out at the last minute.
Yeah, Emily, you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Well, ultimately, no, but you could talk about enforcement, right? So essentially, Congress can refer it to the Department of Justice for that, but I see that they will. Because to me, what we're seeing is the Democrat playbook of just, distract and redirect. Nothing to see here, and they make their talking points. I'm not going to legitimize this by showing up. But at the end of the day, the structure of this was that it was supposed to foster actually not publicity, not drama. There are 45-minute interviews away from the public eye, so they could really get to the bottom of this. And what I love is that the American people are not forgiving, and they are not forgetting this. We are still demanding the accountability of that atrocious cover-up. We have yet to really realize the ramifications of what happened with a propped-up commander-in-chief. And so everyone here thinking it's a political, sort of exercise has another thing coming, because it's this administration that will refer it to the DOJ.
I can't get over it. If anybody's like, aren't you over it? The answer will be no 30 years from now if I'm, God willing, still alive. I don't, how? I mean, the gaslighting, the amount of, what are you talking about? He's fine. I hate being gaslit, Kennedy.
Those people, he was so powerful. Their circle was so small.
You know what they said? The only person he was insistent on evacuating Afghanistan.
Almost as if we were right. Up next, why do Dems love Nepo babies? Are you worried about this with your kids since you make so much money on Fox and Friends?
1-800-Curtis Sliwa. He could slide right in there.
Yeah, I mean, he wants government-run grocery stores, Guy, and if you want government-run grocery stores, what is your limit? For what shouldn't be run by the government at that point?
And I'm sure he shops at Whole Foods. right? Right? Of course.
He does look like he does.
100%. As wow.
Got him!
Here's what's also interesting about this guy. It's like racial justice means gender-affirming care. Just that. We'll see how that ends.
Yeah. Kennedy, are these luxury beliefs?
Of course, they're luxury, but incredibly illogical.
You know, I told the baby 4 months he's got to get a job.
Thank you. and you just had a Nepo baby.
He's gonna be like boring. He's not gonna have
gonna
enough.
be like Peter
He's not
Ducey.
gonna have enough struggle growing up. But I'm
he'll
like,
have plenty of
yeah,
struggle.
he'll find a way.
Yeah, he'll find a way.
Yeah, something will go awry. I'm sure. Got to stay optimistic. Emily, will you leave? Should we all leave? We can't.
I mean, I would love to.
Yeah, I
but
know.
We can't.
We can't.
So I think all of his policies, they are treacherous and horrifying, and they're totally illogical. I see it as this just sort of fantastical 8th grade presidential run. Like everyone's gonna get, like locker, whatever, like these sort of ridiculous promises. But all of that pales in comparison to this anti-Semite who refuses to condemn the Holocaust and literally supports global intifada. Take that, Brian. So I spoke today with a New York City businessman, and he said he's Jewish. And he said, as a Jew, I am angry, I am scared, he said, and I don't think I can raise my kids in America anymore. And he said, you know what? It's not even about Mamdani anymore. He said, I feel abandoned by the people here, my friends and my neighbors who voted for this. And that is what that represents. And Kennedy said it perfectly, that we broke down the voter blocks, guys. The people who voted for this guy, verifiably, the rich, white, Upper East Side, overeducated, totally elite. Yes, I will give all my money to help everyone that is in these communities or whatever. But all of those people in those communities, the black, the brown, the underserved communities here, they voted for Cuomo because they saw that guy as the nightmare that he is. So I think waking up, I know you like Curtis Lewa, we all love him. We just need someone to beat that guy. That guy
Eric
would
Adams.
bring, I mean, anyone. Someone needs to be strong enough to beat that guy.
The people that voted.
Rosie O'Donnell's first Zoom meeting. That's like Greg said. Trump's America isn't cozy for a gal named Rosie. Our video of the day. Being happy to
She seems really happy.
have, moved the camera back. That was absurd, right?
So, that is a very strange thing. Like, you can't blame all. I applaud that integrity.
I also really loved her in Harriet the Spy. Kennedy, I feel like the conclusion you should maybe draw if you're getting this affected by politics. I've never had an alcoholic crash out over an election myself, not to brag. But then maybe you should draw the conclusion that the government should be smaller so that you don't have to freak out as much depending on.
She's rich enough that she can afford an aesthetic.
Hey. I mean, Emily.
So she escapes this country because of the president, goes to another country, and instead of flourishing or maybe contributing, instead she's just still obsessed with a prior president, still going on podcasts to talk about him. Like, why don't it boggles my mind. She hasn't gone anywhere. It's like your girlfriend that breaks up with a boyfriend, has a new boyfriend, but still only talks about the ex. You're like, you haven't moved on. You haven't moved on at all. She has not moved on whatsoever. And I agree with you, Guy. Trump didn't put the food in her mouth. Trump didn't put the bottle to her lips. She did that all on her own.
All right. I will say, Harriet the Spy is a great movie and it's family friendly. Up next, Therapy Bro Summer.
But I feel like here are the two questions we have to ask.
Yeah.
Number one.
I've been in therapy on and off my whole life. I'm sure you're all shocked to hear that. It can be helpful. I'm less helpful for some of these questions that were written here. I'm going to just go for these, okay? Brian, this is verbatim, the question for you.
So it means you didn't write.
I didn't write this.
Okay.
Brian, you successful. Got any... Brian, Brian, you successful. Got any tips for the fellas? Feeling them for me.
Right. Yeah. Right. What if the therapist is like, I think you're with the right?
Okay, Guy, your question's not much better. Guy, do gay guys find therapy attractive? Kennedy, I think therapy's great, but we also all know that person who goes to therapy and then weaponizes it, right?
Yes.
Where they learn some therapy words and then they never speak to you in English again.
Yes.
That's like having.
Perfect evening. God bless America. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Thanks to Guy Benson, Emily Campagno, Brian Kilmeade, Kennedy, and our studio audience. Fox News at Night is next. On behalf of Greg Gutfeld, I'm Kat Timpf. I love you, America.